Dr. Elias Carter never believed in myths. To him, history was built on facts, records, and physical evidence, not on ancient legends whispered through generations. Yet, standing in the depths of a forgotten ruin, staring at an artifact that defied all logic, he felt something he had never experienced before. Fear. The relic was unlike anything he had ever encountered. A blade, seemingly untouched by time, rested beneath layers of dust and decay. Its silver-like surface bore inscriptions that pulsed faintly, as if alive. The symbols were not of this world, yet Elias could somehow read them. Forged in light, bound by blood, only the worthy shall end the darkness. The moment his fingertips brushed the hilt, a violent shockwave of energy surged through his veins. A suffocating weight crushed his chest, his heartbeat turned erratic, and an unseen force dragged him into the abyss of his own mind. Suddenly whispers filled the air, a chorus of tortured voices warning him, pleading with him to turn back. But it was too late. He had awakened something that should have never been disturbed. The relic was no ordinary artifact. It was a weapon, forged by angels, designed to purge the world of darkness. Elias had spent years debunking myths of celestial warfare, but now he stood at the center of one. The blade had been hidden for centuries. The forces that had buried it had done so for a reason, to prevent mortals from ever wielding its power. But now it had chosen him. Elias tried to let go of the relic, but an invisible force bound it to his soul. The inscriptions on the blade glowed brighter, their light searing into his mind. Images flashed before his eyes. Battles waged in the heavens, creatures of shadow rising from the depths, entire civilizations wiped out by an unseen war. Then a voice, ancient and commanding, boomed inside his head. "You are unworthy, and yet the burden is now yours to bear." Elias gasped, stumbling back as the blade's glow faded. His body felt weaker, his hands trembling. Something inside him had changed, and deep down he knew he was no longer just a man. As Elias attempted to make sense of what had happened, the world around him shifted. The room darkened, shadows stretching unnaturally across the walls. The air grew dense with an oppressive force, as if something unseen was watching him. And then came the whispers. Not the ones he had heard before, these were different, hunger-filled, malicious, eager. Something had sensed the relic's awakening. Something that had waited a very long time for this moment. The walls trembled as an unnatural wind howled through the ruins. Elias could feel their presence now, beings lurking just beyond the veil of reality. The blade had been hidden for centuries, but the moment it had been disturbed, the hunt had begun. And now they were coming for him. The first night after discovering the relic, Elias barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw them, figures shifting in the darkness, clawed hands reaching from the void, eyes that burned like embers, watching, waiting. At first, he dismissed it as paranoia. The exhaustion of his journey, the weight of the discovery, his mind playing tricks on him. But then, the shadows moved. His tent shuddered as an icy presence slithered inside. The lantern beside him flickered violently, casting monstrous shapes across the fabric. And then, a whisper. "You should not have taken it." The voice was right beside his ear. Elias turned, but nothing was there. Then the tent collapsed. Something unseen rushed through him, knocking him breathless. He scrambled to his feet, clutching the relic, his pulse hammering against his ribs. The desert night was empty, silent, too silent, but he could feel them now, watching, waiting. The hunt had begun. Elias tried to get rid of the relic. He buried it beneath the sands. He threw it into a river. He even locked it inside a vault. But every time it returned to him. No matter how far he traveled, how desperately he tried to escape, the blade would reappear at his side, and with every passing day, he grew weaker. His skin paled, his eyes darkened, and the voices inside his head grew louder. The longer you carry it, the closer you come to the abyss. It is feeding on you. You were never meant to wield it. He could feel something draining him. The blade was not just a weapon, it was a curse. And soon he feared it would consume him completely. The demons came in waves. At first, it was the lesser creatures, shapeless entities lurking in the shadows, testing his resolve. Then came the hunters. These were not mindless beasts. These were intelligent predators, creatures of flesh and darkness that whispered his name as they stalked him through city streets. They came for him in his sleep, in his waking hours, in the places he thought were safe. No one else could see them, but he could. And then, finally, the lords arrived, the true rulers of the abyss. They did not need to chase him. They did not need to strike. They simply waited. Because they knew something Elias did not. The blade was killing him. With every battle, every use of its divine power, his soul burned away. He was running out of time. Elias had only one choice left. He could surrender the relic. Let the darkness take it. Let the demons claim their prize. Let them consume the world. Or he could fight, even if it cost him everything. With the last of his strength, he raised the relic one final time. The blade blazed with celestial fire, its light tearing through the fabric of reality itself. The demons screamed, the lords of the abyss howled, and Elias swung the blade. A blinding explosion ripped through the night, a shockwave so powerful that it shattered the very sky. The earth trembled, the heavens burned, and for the first time in millennia, the darkness fled. The demon lords were obliterated, their presence wiped from existence. But Elias knew. He knew the cost. The relic had taken everything from him. His body disintegrated into pure light. His soul was pulled into the void, forever bound to the relic's power. The blade fell, lifeless once more, waiting for the next fool to unearth it. Years later, a team of archaeologists ventured into the ruins of an ancient city. Among the dust and broken stone, something gleamed in the darkness. A blade, untouched by time, waiting, and a young, curious scholar reached out. The whispers began again.